Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. All right, so this week I'm going to do a little bit of astrology here for you and kind of give you some trends. The big one I want to talk about first is this Mercury opposing Pluto one. And I have a lot to say because this one packs a bit of a punch. Okay, now collectively, when Pluto makes an aspect with Mercury, it tends to get us thinking a little more deeper, more so than just the surface stuff. We want to go a little deeper. We want to know the why. We want to know the how on a more deeper level than just accepting things that are surface value or face value. So this week, do not be surprised if you find yourselves engaging in more deeper, more meaningful conversations. Whether you're single or partnered or not, it's not good enough just to do the surface things anymore. It's time to get deep. Mercury Pluto aspects are really wonderful for therapy, really wonderful for really getting down to the nitty gritty and getting to the getting right down to the heart of the matter of things. And this is where the opposition comes in, okay? The opposition comes in when people fundamentally don't agree. The disagreement comes in where people might really try to force their opinions on other people. And they're very adamant and very strong about a point, and therefore, they really try to force that opinion, or they really try their best to really make that person really get what they're saying. The problem is it can come off as bullying a little bit, and it can come off as being pushy and bossy and domineering. Some people may want to dominate conversation. And can be this push-pull power dynamic where, again, I'm right in what I think and believe, in my opinion. I'm strong on that. And the other person may be, no, I'm strong with what I think and feel and believe as well. So sometimes Mercury Pluto can bring power struggles, intellectual power struggles, and someone trying to take over all the conversation where they don't let the other one speak. It's more about what they think. And like I said, and this is the opposition, where it's not an equal balance. Someone wants to force their opinion on someone, or their thoughts or their opinion, whatever the case. And this can bring some arguing. It can bring some bickering because one person feels completely overshadowed by the other, and they're thinking like, oh my God, they just won't let it go. They're not seeing my point of view at all. They think they're right, and this is where the clash comes in, like boom, so that's a big one. How the opposition works nicely, like I said earlier, it is good time to dig deeper to those issues. It's really a good time not to talk about superficial things. It's a good time to talk deeper. So this is why this makes a really good therapeutic aspect, whether you literally see a therapist or you just talk to a good Judy. But it's really about getting deep and not having these really fake, superficial, lighthearted conversations. So this week we might see that. Mundanely wise, on the world stage, whatever that means, we might see some more intense interviews, or we might, somebody may speak out or say something controversial, whatever the case is. We might start seeing people get what's coming to them in a way. You know what I mean? It's an opposition. All right. So that's the first one I kind of wanted to touch upon here. All right. So let me go up here right quick. What's interesting is that Mercury is at 29 degrees in Cancer. And let me see, is that it? Mercury will be ingressing into Leo on the 25th of July. So right now, Mercury is in sensitive, sentimental, Cancer. So some of you may have seen a pattern of things being brought up to the surface from the past. Cancer is all about memory and nostalgia after all. And it also rules over home and family to an extent because Moon is its ruler. And Moon naturally rules over the fourth house of family, the past, Also, women in our family, our sisters, our mothers, our aunties. I'm of the school where 4th house to me represents mom, when 10th house, Sun and Saturn remind me of dad more so. Other traditional astrologers have it flipped, but whatever. I digress. Anyway, so with Cancer Mercury being in Cancer, it probably has brought up a lot of our thoughts from the past, and we probably have more memories and nostalgia. Maybe we've run into an old friend we haven't seen for a long time. Mercury in Cancer kind of gives me Mercury in retrograde vibes, because Cancer ruled by the moon does speak of the past. So, and to me, it's kind of like a de facto Mercury retrograde, to an extent, not to the same extent, but a little bit. Anyway, yeah, so some of you may have talked to an old friend, or got to thinking about things from the past, had memories, had nostalgia, But Cancer is a water sign, and it's very, very sensitive. So some people may have been a little more defensive, a little more touchy with the words. So maybe if people have been biting or been critical, our feelings might get hurt a little easier. Words hurt. Mercury is words. It's communication. It's our thoughts. We may be thinking of the past, but some of our words and actions may actually have been hurting other people's feelings and not being aware of it, because Cancer is sensitive. Cancer doesn't like criticism too much. It takes it very personal, that Cancer energy. So I wouldn't be surprised if this has been something that some of you have been going through. However, with Mercury about to ingress into a fire sign, which is Leo, we're going to take some of that sensitive, squishy energy, and it's going to become more dynamic. You know what I mean? People are going to be a little more outspoken with Leo and Mercury. People are going to be a little more dramatic in their speech and in their presentation. Things could get exaggerated a little bit. Leos are about the stage. They're about the spotlight. They really like validation, and they really like attention, right? So when we speak this month, we're going to want our words to be acknowledged. We won't want to be ignored, kind of like Fatal Attraction. We will not be ignored, Dan. Do you know what I'm saying? Mercury and Leo is going to be about putting it all out there for me. Okay, I'm not even getting into the aspects right now. I'm just giving you a little quick rundown on what's to come. Now that's going to be happening, like I said, July 25th is when Leo will be ingressing into Leo. So if you've been a little more quiet, a little more shy, and a little more introverted, because Cancer sometimes can be a little introverted and only come out of its shell when it feels comfortable, well, Leo's going to be all over the place. We're going to want our words and our thoughts to be acknowledged. We won't do well being ignored, so there's that to look forward to. I kind of like Mercury and Leo personally myself, because Leo is also very, very creative, so for those of you that like to sing or write or act or have talent, Mercury and Leo is excellent for showcasing all of that. Mercury does rule over, in my opinion, some social media and things of that nature, right along with 11th house stuff. So we might see people being more extroverted, singing more, doing more videos, getting themselves out there. Look at me, for instance. I've been hidden for a couple of years. I'm getting back out there again, So it's about being heard and seen, and getting your acknowledgement and getting your praise, and not staying silent anymore. Leo has something to say. So this will really affect people with a lot of Leo placements, just like right now, if you have a lot of prominent Cancer in your chart, Mercury in Cancer is going to be affecting you more too. So this is going to be good, because Leo season's right around the corner anyway, and with Mercury going into Leo, kind of fitting. So Leo's gonna have the stage with the Sun and Mercury soon, because Sun and Mercury usually follow each other closely anyway. Let me see. Just zooming in here. Venus is already in Leo at 25 degrees. So this brings money and love matters have more dramatic flair to them right now. People who, especially Leo energy, if it just seems like people need a little more attention, and they get upset and affronted if they don't feel validated or heard, because Leo is the most offended of all signs, and it gets really, what's that word I'm thinking of? It's just, when Leo energy is upset, they almost feel uncouth, like, oh, how dare you, like, no, they can get dramatic, and they take things to heart, and therefore it can be a little more dramatic. However, with Venus and Leo, people do want their partners to validate them, to pay them attention, to show them love. And there ain't nothing wrong with that. When it goes left, though, sometimes the Leo energy can be a little much and a little over dramatic, and they have a way of making mountains up, like making molehills into mountains and overblowing everything, and their egos get very fragile very easily. And because Venus is in Leo right now, this could be happening to people right now within their one-on-one relationships, whether it's romantic, work, or even friendships. People could be acting a little more over dramatic because the feelings can get hurt a little more. Leo is ruled by the sun after all, and the sun likes to be in the spotlight. So people, if they're not having a good time in the relationship, the issues will be about attention. And think about it, Mercury and Cancer, it can bring up patterns from the past again. So you see how it all kind of meets up. So Mars just entered into Virgo, so it was at 0 degrees. So Mars and Virgo, we're all going to want to do a good job with what it is we do. We may be a little more analytical and a little more pickier, and we want to do a job right. And this can bring out the perfectionists in people. Even people who normally aren't perfectionists. Virgo's going to really make you double down and double check your work and whatever it is you're putting the most energy in. You're going to be a little more picky and analytical and even judgmental. I always say when Virgo energy is involved, please try not to beat yourself up, because it's so easy to do with Virgo when we're not perfect. So say you start an exercise regimen and you fall off the wagon, you're going to really beat yourself up, and you're going to really analyze what went wrong, blah, blah, blah. Analyzing stuff can be good as long as you use it for the positive and you get out of the I'm going to beat myself up mentality. Mars is not typically comfortable in Virgo because Virgo likes to be so perfect, and it likes to be so detail orientated, and Mars kind of wants to do its own thing. It's ruled by Aries after all. So it's hard for Mars to be in such a very, very picky, exact placement, However, Mars here is going to be of service to people. It's going to want to help people out more. It will, albeit more practically, not so much emotional, but it'll be more practical, So if you're getting help out there, people may be lending a hand to you, but more in practical ways. Let's say you need groceries, you need a ride somewhere. They'll be shown in practical ways. Virgo is all about being of service to people. So people are really going to be putting a lot of their attention and their energy and their focus into doing a job well done. Okay, so this is good if you're really trying to bring some structure and some discipline and some routine into your life. Like I said, the only caveat is try not to get so detail oriented where it almost becomes obsessional and you start ruminating too much. Okay, so I see this happening more in the area, let me see, in my little chart here, in the 10th house. So we can see this happening with work and career, your own public reputation. You probably want a reputation of doing a job well done. So some of you may be going through career changes and maybe having the higher ups looking at you a little more. And some of you are going to tighten up ship at work and improve your work skills and whatnot. You want those bosses to take notice of you, and see what a good job that you're going to be doing. So that's going to be happening for some of you there as well. Really trying to perfect your work life and really analyzing, what is it that I'm doing? And what I'm doing now, is this making me happy? So really analyzing and reviewing your work situation and where you want to be, and your reputation and how you want to be seen. Again, don't beat yourself up too much, and don't get so much in your head where you're missing the thing, right? Mars is opposing that Saturn, so there can be some clashes with authorities, and some of you might be having some issues at work, and not having the best of time at work, and thinking, because it's an opposition, wondering, should I, break free from this, But, and some of you, like I said, are going to tighten up ship. Where you're feeling weak, you might want to improve in some areas there, So Mars into Virgo is going to be very interesting for some of you. And I feel that it's really going to really affect how, you work, your job, fine-tuning things in your career, fine-tuning your reputation, really analyzing what it is you're doing. Is it what you want to do, or are you doing what you love and just fine-tuning your skills some more? Are you finding yourself wanting to upgrade or learn more? And some of you might be doing that. Now, the other thing that I find interesting here, some of you are going through some tumultuous relationship issues. Some of you could be going through a breakup. Some of you could be thinking about separating, and some of you could just literally break up with someone. Uranus going through the 7th house in Taurus is a little tricky because people can be stubborn, But all Uranus does when a relationship becomes unstable is calling to you to fix it, stabilize it. You know what I mean? If the relationship is a roller coaster and it's constantly going up and down, Uranus says, I'm going to keep you on the roller coaster until y'all figure it out. Do we all need to split up? Do we need to make this an open relationship? Do we need to just give each other a shit ton of space? Uranus is very unconventional. And sometimes if you're expecting a traditional conventional relationship, it's not going to happen with Uranus here. It's just going to remain up and down. Some of you may like Uranus and say, I'm good at being single. I don't want to commit. Some of you might not want to commit. You may say on one hand, I want a relationship, but then when it really happens, you wonder, I don't know, I'm struggling with this. I like that. I like this person, but I'm not sure if I really want to settle down. I like my freedom too much, right? So some of you will be on the fence on whether or not you want to remain single or get with someone, But either way, the end of the story is relationships may not be as stable and as comfortable as we would like them to be. And like I said, some of you may break up. Some of you may just be going through an up and down roller coaster riding your relationship. Others of you are like, man, I don't want no relationship noise. This is a generalized reading. Okay. Anyway, I think I'm going to wrap this up for the time being. I'm just giving you a little bit for the week ahead here. Hold on, let me take another look. This is kind of just an astrological little review. Yeah, the sentence in Scorpio, some people are going to be all about getting even and getting comeuppance and making things right. Scorpios can hold a grudge, as we know. But be careful doing that always, because we don't want karma coming back at us. Yeah. So that is my astrological dissertation for the week. Anyway, if you guys have any comments or concerns or questions for me, feel free to hit me up. Now, obviously, some of these transits I talked about are going to go beyond a week. But this is what I got for you this week. I'll be back next week with some more. All right. Bye, guys.